Welcome to the Young and the Restless, the Pop Culture's WWE podcast. I'm one of your hosts, Ryan Betts, and alongside
the Samoan Slaughterhouse, Jamina.
You can listen to this show every Friday morning at 8 a.m. on all podcast services and 9 a.m. on the YouTubes very, very soon. If you want to join that wrestling conversation, head over to the Facebook group, which is facebook.com/groups/thepopculturist. And we are also on Discord with our little wrestling chats. The links are in the description if you want to come join that party. If you want to show support for Pop Culturist on your body, head to popculturist.com/shop. You can buy shirts like this, books like this, and other sort of shit with our logos on it, including some new wrestling inspired designs that are on their way. And if you want to show additional support, head over to patreon.com/thepopculturist. Throw a couple of dollary dues our way if you so choose. Hi, man.
I am good. I am ready to get angry, but
yeah.
I am good.
Yeah, there is going to be some feistiness coming out of this episode today. If the internet is to go by anything, we should be furious, and we may just be. But before we do get furious, though, we do have a cool thing to announce. So Universal Studios, that's the film company, have very kindly invited us to the preview screening of Fighting With My Family, the up-and-coming movie produced by The Rock, all about Paige and her rise from UK independent wrestling all the way to NXT and the main roster at WWE. So big thank you to the guys over there. I think that's in 2 weeks from now.
I think
about
so.
2 weeks. So the episode, which will be the Thursday after, we might do a regular show and then potentially another little sneaky recording that'll be just the review of the film.
Oh, yeah.
Very keen to see that film.
Yeah, definitely. I'm really excited about that, so thank you.
Yeah, thank you very much. We're very cool. So we have to hike all the way to Melbourne Central, which is doesn't sound that bad.
Not too bad for me.
For you, it's easy as shit. I'm like, and I gotta hike in, but it's gonna be totally worth it.
Now you know how I feel every week.
That's true, and
That's what we do for the things we love.
That's true. I do appreciate that effort. But yeah, how you been? Like, is everything all well and good?
Yeah, it's still a bit crazy. I'm transitioning out of one job into the new one next week, so everything's a bit nutso bonkers, but I'm doing all right.
Yeah,
like,
good to hear, man.
How about you?
Yeah, no, things are going swell. Got a bunch of new games at the moment, so things are getting a bit crazy in the game space, which is big thumbs up. But yeah, no, everything is going great. Going great.
Good. Until we watch Raw.
So this episode of Raw aired on the 11th of February in the US at some place.
They were in Grand Rapids, I believe.
They were in Grand Rapids, thank you very much. And to kick things off, it did have Triple H and Steph McMahon standing in the ring, getting the crowd all hyped for Elimination Chamber and WrestleMania. Yes. Sort of listing off all the things we're going to see. Including, I think they talked about the Elimination Chamber matches themselves, with the WWE Championship belt as well as the women's tag team belts. Yeah. It's pretty cool. And they did also confirm that Ronda Rousey will be taking on Ruby Riott, which we alluded to last week. With the idea of Ronda smushing both Sarah Logan and Liv Morgan. Yeah, so it made sense for it to go that way.
Yeah.
They did start sort of talking about Becky and how she has gone and seen a doctor. Not WWE doctors, but her own doctors. And she's here to deliver the results. And as Becky does, she interrupts her own introduction and makes her way to the ring.
Yeah. Now, they did mention that Becky's doctors did confer with the WWE doctors, and
she's clear.
Yeah, and she's clear.
So which is really good, because I thought this was going to drag this out for some long last time. So
yeah, I was expecting it too.
I'm really glad, because as I'm becoming more of an older, sensible adult, I'm just like, fucking Becky, just do it.
Yeah.
I don't have this attitude bullshit. Just fucking do it.
Yeah, exactly.
Just go to the doctor, get checked out, do what you got to do. It's simple.
Yeah, even if they're out to get you, do exactly what you did. Go to your doctor.
Even if there's this distrust thing, which he clearly talks about, and it makes perfect sense. She's like, yep, trustworthy is a thing, you know.
Yeah.
McMahon's been crappy for many, many years. So done it. She did the right thing. Got an independent doctor to give the thumbs up. Spoke to WWE. Thumbs up. All is good. However, it cannot be the corporates without a catch. So Triple H and Stephanie McMahon did apologize for their actions last week. That included Steph sort of getting up in Becky's face, antagonizing her to get that result. And the same goes to Triple H, who got straight up in her shit and just blasted her with a bunch of crap last week.
Yeah.
Yep, cool. So just message confirmed. Dirt sheet is on its way.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. So they go up in the show. She apologized. He apologized. So I'm saying, look, we're really sorry that we accused you of freaking out. It's fine. We're really sorry. Yeah. Now, in order for you to we're all good if you apologize to us.
Yeah.
That's the only way you'll get your WrestleMania match.
All you have to do is say 2 little words.
Yeah, it's that easy. Now, understandably, Becky seems very reluctant to do so. Bless you.
Excuse me.
Talks about how, she's just threatens to fucking punch everyone. She's like, I'm going to punch you, and I'll punch old fucking Vinnie McMahon as well. Yeah. Punch everyone. It's like it will happen. So they give her the ultimatum. You have until the end of Raw to apologize. Otherwise, you forfeit your spot at WrestleMania.
At least she had some time to decide.
Yeah, no, it was a cool way to sort of give her enough time to think, but also put enough time to put the pressure on her.
Yeah, definitely.
I personally, this is where my dad hat comes on. And my dad hat's like, just apologize. You punched your bosses, man. Like,
for no reason except that you got a bit angry at them because they said something you didn't want to hear.
Yeah, I'm not responsible for my actions. Fuck off. You are always responsible for your actions.
Exactly it.
Always.
Yeah.
So, just do it. Yeah. It's like, it's really tough. It's like, just do it.
Yeah, I was very much like, I get it, Becky, but at the same time, like, just get off your high horse.
You know what I mean? If it's one of these things about, like, because she doesn't be running on pride right now, and for that reason, I understand why she's reluctant to swallow that pride and push on forward. But one of the signs of being a strong person is being willing to swallow your pride when need to, and be the better man and/or woman. You know what I mean? So we'll get to the result of that very shortly.
I was gonna say, Triple H is what the COO or whatever.
Yeah, COO. Chief Operational Officer.
Yeah. He's like practically second owns the company, and still he can swallow his pride and say I'm sorry. And he doesn't have to. He's in charge.
Yeah, he could just be like, well, fuck you. You don't do any of this. You're out.
Yeah, exactly.
But no, he did the right thing. He was the better person. Even Stephanie McMahon, who's notoriously a bitch, she was like, no, I'm gonna swallow my pride as well. Even though she really didn't do anything.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Comparatively, she just did her job, and Becky lashed out at her. So Steph really had no need to apologize.
Yeah.
Either Triple H, really.
Becky's giving me I'm going to start calling her Becky Strowman at the moment.
What it sounds like the way it feels to me, it's like a 14-year-old girl cracking the shits at her parents. Yeah. That's what it is. Like,
that's exactly
there's no real reason to arc up. There's so it's this. Actually,
you're going to ground me? Well, I'm going to slap you.
Yeah, so you're going to ground me? Well, I'm going to punch everyone. Yeah. Now, I was talking to old Dirt Sheet Dash about this, and he did yell at me because he said we're instantly not friends anymore. What were the exact words that I was using?
Oh, Dash using the harshies.
I said, as much as I dig Becky, this whole defiance angle they have with her isn't doing it for me. It's making her look like a shitty, rebellious 15-year-old. Yeah, so it's pretty much what I just said. I thought I said more than that.
Yeah, no, that's exactly.
But yeah, no, it's just that like, and like I love Becky. Like, anyone listening or watching, don't take this wrong. I do thoroughly love Becky.
We all do.
I think she's awesome, and I really love what she's doing and that. But if I have to hear about her scratching and clawing to get to the top again, I'm like, fuck, we know.
I will scratch and claw your eyes out.
Yeah, like, I'll scratch and claw your eyes. Like, it's gonna go bad. Like, so
I won't be held responsible for my actions.
Yeah, exactly.
Becky.
Like I love the passion, and I love what she's. But saying that, we'll get to the end of what happens at the end of the show. But at that time, I was like, come on.
Repetitive. It's so repetitive.
Yeah, speaking of repetitive, I'll keep talking about that, so I'm going to step away from that.
Yes.
And jump into the first match of the night, which was, I've written it down as Elimination Chamber Triple Threat, which I think is what it was. So it was the three Raw representatives for the Women's Tag Team Elimination Chamber match, which was the Boss and Hug Connection of Bayley and Sasha Banks, the Riot Squad without Ruby Riot, so it's Liv Morgan and Sarah Logan, and what I believe they called themselves the Samoan Sisters, which is Tamina and Nia Jax.
I call them Niamina.
Niamina? I call them losers.
Losers.
Yeah, so with the whole point of this match is whoever lost will be entering the chamber match first, which will put them at a clear disadvantage moving through as each one of the tag teams make their way through. Yeah. So there is stake in ensuring that you win, but you could also just not compete and therefore don't lose. Yeah,
exactly. I do have to mention, I want wacky wave of flailing tube men. Like,
yeah, isn't it the best?
Every time I watch Bayley's entrance, I just like, I want those. Like, wherever I go, I just want that little like. How cool would that be?
It does instantly set the mood.
It really does. Like, you get real hyped when that comes out. You're just like, yeah, Bailey and the Wacky Waving Inflatable Arm Flailing Tube Man.
But it's just, it just, because obviously her being the bit hugger, she's, full of joy and happiness and optimism and whatnot. So, like, the Wacky Waving Tube Man really cement that.
Yeah, definitely.
And I really like it,
definitely
what it does.
cements her fun.
So it was a pretty... I thought it was all right. There was a lot. So there was a beat down to Sasha Banks, who then had to be escorted out of the building.
Yeah, they claim she agitated an existing shoulder injury.
Yeah.
And she was... escorted out. So again, second week in a row, she left Bailey high and dry.
Well, it makes sense. Well, it's just in terms of what went down last week. So it was that beat down last week at the hands of Alicia Fox and Nikki Cross. So that had her. There's niggling an injury right there. Yeah. So I believe it was the Riot Squad that jacked her.
Yes.
Yeah. So once again, I watched this like 3 days ago. So the Riot Squad would then jacked Sasha Banks, putting her out of commission. So having her being, injured from last week. Now, once again, the old dirt sheet did tell the old dirt sheet dash did inform me that she had been having a rough week. So going into this match on Monday, we're not sure how that was going to go, because there was rumor mills that there is an injury that could be an issue. And credit to the Riot Squad, they knew that issue and they worked that issue to their advantage. Yeah, of course.
Yeah, that's why they're such a powerful tag team. Because they study these things, they know these things, they know how to target them, and that's one thing I think could give them the upper hand. Even though they don't have the strength factor on their side, they definitely have that strategic that strategy behind them. Yeah.
So the big difference we'll get into once we talk to SmackDown as well. All the women here, they have all been tag teams for a while. They have all been friends for a while. They all have their back. So Riot Squad. They've been since day one. They've always been that squad.
Yes.
Riot. Liv Morgan, Sarah Logan, and Ruby Riot have. I just said that, didn't I? I mean, Sasha Banks and Bailey. They have been the bestest of friends. I've also had some falling outs here and there, but they have been best friends.
They've had counseling about it
since they call up.
Yeah,
you know what I mean. So. Like, there's a long ass history there, and Tamina and Nia, I believe, have like genuine blood.
Yeah.
So for that reason, there's the connection there. So there's no lack of preparation here in knowing your partner. So I think that does make a very strong position for the Raw women moving into this chamber match.
Yeah, definitely.
Because with SmackDown, one team in particular, which is the Naomi and Carmel, which we'll get to a little bit later.
Glow.
Fabulous, that's what they call it. Just
yeah.
They have been just a newish tag team. Saying that the Iconics have always been together, and Sonya and Mandy. Fire and Desire, have been paired up for ages as well. So the only one that's a real concern there is the Fabulous Glow.
Yeah.
But the point I'm making here is it's tough to pick a winner at this stage.
Yeah, definitely. I couldn't agree more. Especially, we'll obviously talk about it when we talk about SmackDown. But there was a few things that happened in that episode that I was just like, holy shit! Like, you can't discredit anyone.
Yeah.
It is fair game across the board, and I'm really excited for this Elimination Chamber match.
Yeah, I'm really excited.
Which is in a couple of days for us. What, Monday?
Yeah, it's Monday. So it's like what, 3 days? Not even?
I'm super hyped on it. I think that tag match is going to be like, I reckon it's going to be the highlight of the show.
I think it will be a very clear standout, and I'm very interested to see. But speaking of big clear standouts, so Bailey, without a partner, managed to sustain herself for quite a lengthy period of time.
Yeah.
There was an exceptional elbow dropper there at one point.
Yeah.
Right onto Liv Morgan's face.
Yeah, she's so good with her elbow drops.
Oh, dude, like when she gets airborne and she does like the gnarly drops.
Yeah.
She's awesome.
She's phenomenal.
I'm a big fan of Bailey.
Yeah.
A huge fan in
she's
general.
definitely winning me over.
But however, being without a partner did have its disadvantage, and it did cause her to take the loss after receiving a Samoan drop by Nia. Therefore the boss hug connection lost.
Speaking of that, they did cut to a promo with Nia and Tamina during the entrances and stuff like that, and holy shit, Tamina speaks.
Yeah, we heard her talk.
We had her talk. I think she said the word Samoan slaughterhouse in reference to what they're going to call the Elimination Chamber once they're done.
Yeah.
But the words. Good on you, Tamina.
I was like, oh, we got Silent Bob over here, you know, and
it's like,
and then when she did say, like, unlike Silent Bob, when she did speak, was very unprofound.
Yeah. It was no Amy story.
No, it was no Amy's story. That would have been amazing though. She starts pulling this big story about the woman that got away. I was like, holy shit, Tamina. Then we cut into Elias in the middle of the ring, and he did
fucking gold.
He did start to do his usual spiel, and then he was interrupted by Becky on the screen, who was going to be sulking or contemplating, I guess. I'm going to call it sulking, in the backstage, and Finn Balor comes up with no shirt for just reasons.
Of course.
He's just like, hey.
Because have you looked at his abs as if he's going to wear a shirt?
Yeah. Like his butt and his legs, like a big... the definition in his butt and thigh is bonkers. I don't know how you even work that.
I could definitely, I'm a sucker for Elias without a shirt on, but I was more than happy watching it.
So they're having a discussion, pardon me, to and fro here, just about, like, dude, swallow your pride, go do it for the best.
Yeah.
Because we're fellow Irish man's ladies, like, do what you got to do. Yeah. And as he walks away, Becky's like, your abs still look great, by the way.
Yeah, she's like, your abs are still awesome, by the way. Good. But yeah, that was so funny because it's like, hello, I'm Elias. And then it cuts away to Becky and Finn. And then, hello, I am Elias.
He tries it again. Then it gets interrupted by a promo for the Universal Championship match between Seth Rollins and Brock Lesnar, just to kick him in the dick harder. And then third, he tries it again.
I am Elias.
Next thing we see, the Lucha House Party come in. Just being annoying as dick as always. They're coming in, get all up in Elias' shit, and they're sort of mocking him and the idea that, just guitars and stuff, it doesn't mean nothing. I believe it was Callisto.
Callisto, yeah. So they apparently came out, and Callisto did say, he's like, no, we wanna like party with you. Like, we're here to like, listen to you sing. So Elias sings.
Yeah, so they
and he's just ripping into the poor people in Grand Rapids. Just talking about how he hates the area and he thinks they're dumb and all this other shit. And I was just like, wow, you wrote a song for you, all right? Yeah. Like, rude.
And so Callista's like, it's not that hard, I can do it. So they're like, oh, here you go. Here's my guitar. Do what you got to do. And he plays relatively simple, but more complicated than I could ever do. So he was like, and it was quite impressive until he got right across the back with a guitar.
Let's do a duet. I'll grab my guitar slam.
And then everyone just scattered.
Gone. Just straight up gone.
Yeah, so that was weird. I don't know what Elias is doing right now. Like, I granted,
at least he got to sing a song.
Yeah, like he keeps he keeps getting shafted by being interrupted. So I guess they just did it for shits and giggles today. But I don't know what they're doing. I don't know what Elias is doing.
I love that the Lucha House Party was standing there like hiding their ears, like, that time. That was a bit fun.
Next, we get an interesting matchup between Finn Balor and Drew McIntyre.
Yeah.
That's right, a burp.
That's all good.
Gross. I'm not going to edit
with
that out.
Bobby Lashley and Lio Rush watching from the sidelines. As they seem to do. Those guys really like to watch their matches.
That's correct. With Bobby Lashley and Lio Rush by ringside, because as we've come to learn, Finn is on the opportunity for the Intercontinental Championship at the Elimination Chamber. So this is sort of a pre-workup match, I guess. It was interesting to see. However, as the match did go on, it was kind of interesting. Yeah. All it did was make me realize that Drew McIntyre's like 80 feet tall.
Yeah, he's massive.
Yeah, he's like, Finn's not tiny, but he's not huge either. And then I
didn't have to be there.
It was very funny just watching. I'm like, he barely makes his hips. Yeah, like he is so tall.
Yeah, he's ridiculous. But this is pissing me off. The interruptions, like constantly, Bobby Lashley and Lio Rush.
Just interruptions in general. What the fuck? So as you mentioned, Bobby Lashley does interrupt on Finn Balor, allowing the DQ, which does give Finn the win, and Drew get the loss. It does, but thankfully it's the first time that, as we noted last week, the referees just seem to hit and miss about what's a DQ and what isn't. Yeah. But thankfully this week they were like, no, that's a DQ. Fuck this. And they did call the end of that match. But after the bell had rung, decision had been made, Bobby Lashley did continue to beat down on Finn Balor, which then brought out a series of dudes in I believe this may be in order, Kurt Angle, Baron Corbin, Braun Strowman, and that's everybody. So in a series of threes, just then everyone was in the ring. It was a night beatdown, and my son just broke into the room. Hey, buddy. I like your jammies. Can you please go to mum? We'll just keep going, I guess. So this did end up in somehow being booked as a tag team match with a 3-on-3 goodies versus baddies.
Yeah. Again, always in the ad break. This is now an official match.
Yeah, like someone sanctioned it without us seeing, I suppose.
Yeah.
You want to go to mummy? You have rice all over your face because I can smell it. Sorry, my son smells like chicken rice. It was a pretty solid match. I did it. Gonna go to mummy? Because I'm not gonna edit this. I'm too lazy. Go to mum. Go to mum.
Speaking of distractions.
Yeah, speaking of interference.
See you
Bye,
later.
bud. Love you. Yes. Oh, God damn it. Can you please... I love you, but... Go to bed. It's like late. Like 9 o'clock. Go to bed.
Good night.
Bye. Bye, buddy.
Interference.
But baby Lashley.
I was thinking the same thing. Baby Lashley just interfering in the match.
Yeah, thanks for Mummy Rush over there.
Yeah.
Doing Millie Rush doing jack shit.
Yeah.
Yeah, so it was a solid beatdown. I love this match personally because I give a shit about everyone involved.
Yeah.
I'm gonna turn that fan on. It's hot as balls in here. You keep talking.
Yeah. Well, yeah, I was super stoked that Kurt Angle finally got a freaking angle lock in on Leo Rush. Like, take that. I love the angle lock. Look, I'm super nostalgic with Kurt Angle. Like, I grew up with the guy. Like, I love him a bit. So I'm a bit like, when they had that all, like, possible retirement thing, I was like, nah. But now I'm just like, yeah, Kurt. Like, angle slam, angle lock. Like, beat him up. Like, you're old, but you look like a thumb, but do it.
Yes, I'm saying I love this thumb. Like, the thumb is something. So, like, having them all team up was very, very happy with me. It was great for James, by the way, because as I said, my son James, he knows the Kurt Angle you suck.
Yep.
He knows the Finn Balor arms. For him, it was exceptional. He's doing all the things he knows.
Yeah.
And I haven't taught him. I'll have to teach him the Braun Strowman 2 arms in the air.
One thing I did find super cute is obviously, like, as the match goes on, like, winners are Kurt, Braun, and Finn.
Yep. So it does end with a coup de grace from
win.
Finn Balor.
Yeah, and I loved watching it because at the end they're obviously all celebrating. Finn's music's playing because he got the pin, and Braun Strowman. I loved it.
I love it because
I love Braun. He's just so happy-go-lucky and fun.
As we mentioned last week, with the idea, it looks like Braun sort of learned his lesson and he's brought down some of the frustration and anger that he had. Because I understand he did lose a lot by not being able to use the Universal Championship at championship match at Royal Rumble. So I think he's done some soul searching. I think he's done some self-assessment.
Yeah.
And for that reason, I think that is why he's a bit more willing to help the other guys out at this point.
Yeah.
Like, he got shafted, he was selfish, but it looks like he swung the other way and he's now more willing to work alongside people.
I'm really appreciating the camaraderie of it all. Obviously, especially because it always has been this, Baron Corbin, Drew McIntyre pairing, and then Bobby Lashley's obviously now in the mix. It's good to see that, everybody's sort of coming together to fight that.
Yeah.
Instead of everyone being against Braun.
But we should mention, although that Finn did win with the coup de grace at the end.
The coup de grace?
To the grass, thank you, Corey Graves. Dong. There was a moment of reset. So during a pin, Finn Balor did get his foot on the rope. Ref didn't see. 3 count. And then they're like, nah, this is bullshit. This is not right. Another ref comes in going, this is bullshit.
Actually,
this is not right.
So we can call this mother fricker out. I think his name was John Cones. Was the referee that
John Cones, you bastard.
Yeah, he was the referee that did the 3 count. So Lashley had the pin, and Finn got his foot up, and the 3 count happened, and Lashley ripped Flynn's foot off. But all was said and done. He was raising their arms. They were like, we won. And then Chad Patton, who is a name that I've heard for years. Chad Patton is like, the referee of referees. He's like, no. Like, we caught that.
That's all right.
He's like, no, we caught that. Like, his foot was on the nut. We're resetting this match. Like, you get over there, you restart this match. And I was super stoked on that because obviously we've seen a lot of, like, shitty shit over the last couple of weeks with I think it's Rude and Gable and the Revival, how like
Yeah,
all that,
so they're continuing
So-
going on issue of, you know, pins where they shouldn't be. And ropes and breaks
that whole like screw over type thing. So I was glad to see that corrected.
Yeah, so on a good note, it does look as if that they're, you know, the higher ups, the authorities have noticed there has been some sketchy behavior with the refs in the past, and for that reason, like, we have seen some good ref decisions in this in these matches for this episode of Raw. So I do hope that does swing in the way of correction, and we are going to see more accurate refereeing.
Yeah, definitely.
This did then cut to an interesting little video from the KO, Kevin Owens, who was at a bowling alley, being a dad, I guess.
Yeah.
Talking about how he has been watching from home, and he is still not... Well, he said he's cleared, but he's just sort of resting to make sure he's ready to go, and we'll likely see him in about a month.
Yeah.
So if anything...
Still not sure where he's going yet, but...
Yeah. Because
that could be
we're gonna
exciting.
see him.
Free agency.
We're gonna see him at Fastlane.
Yeah.
Calling it here.
Yeah.
Like, I would have loved to see him at Rumble, but if he wasn't ready to go, that's fine. Chamber, obviously being in a couple of days, it's very unlikely.
Yeah.
Fastlane is where he's at.
Yeah, the pay-per-view before the WrestleMania.
Yeah,
Like
and then which will then hopefully get him ready and roaring to then have a solid match at Mania.
Yeah, definitely. I love that he talks this massive game, and then he's like, "I'm gonna show you," and he goes to like, you know, bowl, and then gets a complete gutter ball.
Yes, he's in there talking smack. He's like, "I'm gonna do the best bowl." Oh no, that's cool. He looked genuinely heartbroken. It was amazing.
Yeah.
Let's see. Then we see an interesting match between Ruby Riott and Nikki Cross. I assume this is considered like a warm-up match for Elimination Chamber, with Ruby Riott taking on Ronda, as we mentioned earlier.
Yeah, which I had no idea about until tonight. Like until that match. I watched
that match. Yeah. So it was an interesting outcome. I was like, okay, that's a weird pairing. But Nikki Cross went hard. She, like, if anything, Nikki goes hard. She likes to play hard. Like, she had Ruby in the apron at one point, and there was a lot of, like, pounding on the face in the apron.
Yeah, I love that little thing she does where she slides him into the apron curtain and just starts bashing him.
Yes, it's amazing. But it did end with Ruby Riott getting the win, of course.
Yeah, definitely.
This, because, as I said, like, we know that she will be going for that belt, so she is just getting in the motions. Not saying that she kind of just...
Yeah, she's definitely in it. There was this. She was on the apron with Nikki at one point, yelling, "I'm the next champ. You want to step to me?" Yeah. So I was like, "Ooh, like
although
Ruby's
I personally
in it."
see her being the next champ, it is nice to know that she is excited and wanting to. So we've just had a bit of a camera freeze on this one over here. So we do a 2-camera recording system to ensure that everything is good and good.
Mm-hmm. Well, yeah, that was for the most part. I was a bit like, meh, filler match. Like it felt a bit, you know, just sort of thrown in there, I guess.
Yeah, as is a warm-up match.
I mean, obviously, like mid-match, there's just a cut to a promo. Like, no half screens or anything, just like a full screen promo. Like, no, I was like, okay.
Yeah, so it cut
really
to Ronda confronting Becky with the delivery of, like, you know what you are doing. Essentially, you know what you're doing is wrong. Like, you are jeopardizing not just the match between you and I, but like
the main event of WrestleMania.
This is the main event. You know, like, there is something to prove here. There is something to be here.
Yeah.
And what you are doing is putting that at risk.
You're going to take a step back.
You're going to take the women's revolution back a step.
Yeah. Which obviously was good because it's still that build up to the whole end of the night, what Becky's decision's going to be.
And Ronda is totally spot on. Like, this is that thing. And like herself, you know, Becky's self-entitled, selfish motivations here are a risk, and it is jeopardizing what what Becky, what Charlotte, what all the women have done up until this point.
Yeah.
You know, they're all working together as a, you know, even with they're bickering amongst each other, they are pushing to this overall idea that the women are the stronger force in WWE.
Definitely.
And they have been showing that. Like, every week we seem to keep saying the women are having a stronger and better time right now.
Yep.
They are more engaging in the matches, they are having better matches, and it's stuff that I want to see.
Yeah.
And we want to see. So Ronda is spot on here, absolutely spot on.
On you, Ronnie.
Then we get to Seth Rollins coming out, talking about how that he has been injured. He did like 6 F5s last week, so he is down for that count.
I love that. He's like, bad news is I took 6 F5s, but the good news is I took 6 F5s. I was like, yeah, you turned that shit around on you.
So it was great. He did a lot about mentioning the fact that he is down and out and he won't be able to sort of really compete for the next couple of weeks or so as his body repairs and gets to where it needs to be. And then, as always, Paul Heyman does come out being the advocate for the Brock Lesnar. He does.
I love how he goes to introduce him and he's like, Brock Lesnar is not here.
Yeah, she does this whole big spiel about how Brock is not going to just turn up. He's going to kill you, probably eat you, and like you'll be the last match you'll ever experience. And to prove it, here he is. Nah, fuck you, he's not here.
Just kidding.
He doesn't have time for you pieces of shit. And then a very interesting set of outcomes from Seth, who talk about the idea is like, I'll do whatever it takes. I'll burn in hell. I will sell my soul to the devil to ensure that Brock Lesnar does not leave WrestleMania as the Universal Champion.
Yeah, Paul said something along the lines of like, he's going to completely ruin you, and Seth's just like deadpan to his face, like, I don't care.
Yeah, I want to do it.
I don't care, Paul.
I ain't gonna wreck you. Brock Lesnar's going down. And look on
Paul's face, he was shocked. He was like, well, damn.
He was like, oh, no, so soul, that's huge.
And he just, slowly just
don't joke about selling your soul. Don't joke about that.
Yeah, he definitely. I think Seth definitely rattled Paul with that.
which is lucky Brock wasn't there. Would have seen Brock poop his pants.
Yeah.
So as Paul Heyman makes his way out, Dean Ambrose's siren kicks in, and he wanders out, makes his way to the ring, and literally just says 3 words. He gets up and he's like, I'm thinking, fuck, this is not the right time, Dean. Don't get in there. Don't get up in Seth's stuff. You know, like, do what you like. Just not bury the hatchet, but just kind of have a moment of mutual respect. You've seen some stuff together. You've been together, like, and he just utters, "Slay the beast."
Yeah, he's like, I've only got one thing to say to you. Yeah. Slay the beast. And like, I was, obviously there's a lot of crossovers with entrances and having matches afterwards. So I just assumed it was that. But when he had something to say to Seth, I was like, well, damn. Like, where'd that come from?
Like, granted, don't get me wrong, I wanted him to come out with more and sort of, because I'm still waiting for that day for Dean to really explain what's going on, why he's been the way he is. And like, however, I don't think we'll ever get that.
Nah.
From Dean. I don't think Dean's one of the people that is emotionally aware of himself to sit there and divulge what's going on internally to sort of get that on out. But we did almost see him have that conversation about a week and a half ago. So 2 weeks ago at this point. So for that reason, it's like, well, you got something to say, man. It's not three words. You got something to say. Bring it out. However, saying that though, by him dropping the Slay the Beast, I'm like, all right, well, he's at least in his corner. In that sense.
Yep, exactly it. But obviously Dean Ambrose coming to the ring did lead into him versus EC3.
Yes, this is continuing on the punch on that went down last week.
Yeah, on the Moment of Bliss.
Yeah, so...
Okay, can we mention, I showed you that photo this week. This made me laugh. So obviously last week Dean did that little shoot like, I'm gonna ask you questions like, are you a Creed fan? You look like a Creed fan. Where's EC1 and 2? And this week emerged a photo, EC3 posted it, of Braun Strowman in an EC1 shirt, Maverick?
Drake Maverick.
Drake Maverick in an EC2 shirt, and then EC3 in his EC3 shirt. That was gold.
But what I love
Power to you, EC3.
Is Drake Maverick looked like he was confused. So confused. But Braun had the biggest shit-eating grin. He was stoked. He was happy to be there.
So power to you, EC3. You're winning me over with shit like that. Like, keep it up.
We still have never really heard you talk outside of your music, outside of your intro, but...
and props to him for not wearing as much baby oil this week. In that one spot in his chest.
I think he may have spread it out a little bit or just kind of used less, but it was very much just the boobs and the abs last week. So he did shift away from the boobs.
For making yourself look
well done for applying to greater than the boobs. So in an interesting turn of events, this match did end with the win by Dean Ambrose.
He got a quick little roll up there on EC3.
Yeah, so it was good. Like I don't think we saw the dirty deeds because I whenever I see Dean, I'm like, dirty deeds. Nah. Yeah. Dirty deeds. Nah. Dirty deeds. Nah. Yeah. I love that. The whip on that is so good.
Yeah.
So yeah, it was a very interesting outcome. I thought EC3 would have had the stomp on, but this, once again, Dean has a bit of fire right now.
Yeah.
Maybe this not turncoat, but maybe this turn of him, you know, sort of like emotional turn, I should say, not like actual turn.
Maybe there's something going on.
Him just, maybe this is sort of working up a new energy in him.
Yeah.
Maybe it's something, maybe it's one of those things, like if you kind of sift through the hate, you can get a bit more like...
Yeah, I've always had a soft spot for Dean Ambrose. Yeah. I definitely have. So I think maybe he's finding his soft spot too. Who knows? Let's
hope. Let's certainly hope.
But be interested to see.
Yeah, no, it was an all right match. I do like EC3. I think he definitely has potential as a superstar, as a performer, as an athlete.
It's looking like he might be sticking to Raw's roster.
Yeah, so they're crossing over a lot, but he didn't like.
He still hasn't said where, but it's
we're not quite sure like where he's going to go, but we didn't see him at SmackDown this week, so potentially he could. And seeing now he seems to be really focusing on Dean, it's very likely he may stick around to Raw.
Yeah.
Next we get a little once again Becky brooding out the back, and Alexa gets up in her shit. The idea of like, you know what? Screw him. Don't apologize. Apologizing is weak. Don't do it. And Becky, catching on to Alexa real quick, was along the lines of, are you saying that you don't, so you can slip your way in? She's like, no.
Yeah, you're an idol, and you're going to look weak if you do that. And, you know, don't look weak because, you know, you're the man, Becky.
Yeah, it's really, it's like, no, fuck you, I want to be in there.
Alexa, bitch.
And it did, and she's like, look, if you do that, you'll be selling out, and like that's not who you are. Just don't sell out. So the only thing I'll be selling out, bitch, is WrestleMania. She didn't say bitch, but she really should have. It would have been great.
Yeah, Alexa, bitch.
Next, we saw a match for the Raw SmackDown. The Raw SmackDown. The Raw Tag Team Championship match between the Revival and the current champions, the Bobby Roode and Gable. Fucking solid match.
Ridiculous. Okay, so obviously this rivalry has been dragged on for a while, and I've been getting very bored with it. But this week I was all for it. Yeah. Because that match, like, they were fighting so hard. And man, Gable is wild. I couldn't take my eyes off Gable. Like, he was just all over the place, like so quick on his feet. Like, I was just glued to that man. And in saying today is Valentine's Day, and I saw this thing that was like, you know, I'm willing and Gable to be your Valentine. I was like, hey! Anyway, I was all about that match. Like, I was glued to Gable that entire time, and I was kind of like rooting for him for the entire thing. But yeah, I was, dude, I could watch that again and again. Like, that was a match for the ages.
So it was really good to see, because as we know, the Revival are really like good technical wrestlers. They don't get a lot of airborne, they don't get a lot, but they can really work those submissions, work those grapples, and they were keeping them on their toes. You know, Bobby Roode was always exceptional as a singles wrestler, as was Gable. So having them paired up does work well.
Yeah, ridiculous.
Spoilers. The match does end with the Revival finally getting the belts.
Yeah,
although I personally aren't a big fucking. The Revival are fine, pardon me, but like I was like, okay, cool. But then I saw them get the win. I was like, yes, like it felt.
Yeah, it felt complete. Like finally.
Yeah, it felt complete. It felt like a good circle, and I was like, nice, this is good.
And it was a clean win too.
Yeah, it was after all that bullshit. It was clean. They got the win, and like when they went out the back and got confronted by Charlie, and you know, she asked some of the questions, and they were just ecstatic. Like they were just so happy to finally have that win. I personally do hope that this means, you know, like Heavy Machinery hang around and they stay at Raw, and that gives Bobby Roode and Chad Gable to separate and return to being awesome singles.
Yeah, definitely.
I don't get me wrong, they were great as tag teams as well, but
it's time for them to move on and up. I think, you know, they were sort of flatlining as tag champions. I think like this is going to push them both.
Well, the thing when I was watching it, and I know because I love Bobby Roode's entrance, I think it's amazing. And noticed that like Gabe was like just sort of tagged on the back of it, like pun intended.
I was going to say the Roodes is the Glorious.
Yeah, so it's the Glorious Gable is their pairing. Yeah. So I dislike the idea that Gable is just roped into the shtick that Bobby has. Like I want him to have his own thing, as we saw. Yeah. He is that good by himself. He should be given that shot and separate himself. I would love to see him, you know,
up against the likes of, you know, Rey Mysterio and Andrade. Like, he's just got that speed. He's got that agility. Like, that was just, wow.
He's a hard worker, man. He's a damn hard worker. And I don't feel that they were getting the best out of him.
And I feel bad for kind of neglecting the other guys, but he just had me enthralled the entire match.
And that did bring us to the time where Becky Lynch had to face the music. She does make her way out to the ring to chat to Triple H and Stephanie McMahon, and I was impressed.
Yeah,
she did it.
It was
She
very
apologized.
haphazard and very just like, I'm sorry.
Which is
But
fine. Like,
it's
you know,
she still said the two words they were asking for.
So technically, she apologized.
Yeah.
Whether she meant it or not is regardless of the point.
Yeah,
She, you know,
said those two words, and that's all
like,
I wanted.
look, that takes a lot of her to do so.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And like, especially as we mentioned with her focusing on her pride. Now, the internet themselves don't seem to want her to apologize. They're pretty much telling her to not do so.
Yep, the crowd was doing the same.
Once again, I'm like, no, this needs to happen because if I want to see her at Mania.
She wants to see her at Mania.
This is the outcome that needs to happen.
Stephanie and Triple H want to see her at Mania.
Exactly. And they'll,
the universe
to their credit, they were like, nope, that's it. That's all we needed.
Yep.
Shake hands.
Shake
You're going to Mania.
And she's like, that's it? And they're like, that's it.
Yeah.
Congratulations. And they leave. And she's like, well, Ronda. She starts getting into her promo. Ronda comes out.
Yes, Ronda comes out, and they sort of have this standoff, and it was really good. Like I said, in once again, Dad Hat. I was like, she's done it. She's done good.
Girl.
She did what she needed to do. Like,
you growing up.
Part of being, part of what you have to do, whether it be in business, because although this is, entertainment and all that sort of stuff, it is business. So,
hey, it could be worse.
See, I know that sounds me, McMahon sympathizing, but she did what needed to be done to get the job done, and that is more impressive to me than guts and passion and fire.
Back in the day, it wasn't as simple as I'm sorry. Like, if you were to apologize, you literally had to kiss Vince McMahon's ass.
Yeah.
Bare butt.
Yeah.
So she got out easy.
Yeah, and if all you have to do is that, and you get what you need, that's fine. Like
But did she?
Good. No, she didn't. Because Vince McMahon then walks out and be like, you know what? Fuck that. I do not accept your apology. It's not happening. But it's not happening for me.
Yeah.
Guess what? You are now suspended for the next 60 days. Oh wait, what's that? That's 5 days after WrestleMania. That's damn shame. Oh, well, we have a main event with an empty slot. Guess what? Charlotte Flair.
Yeah, she's a Charlotte Flair.
Charlotte Flair walking out with that shit-eating grin, that same grin that the Braun Strowman had while wearing that EC1 shirt.
Yep, exactly. This is something this brought me back to that whole, like, Vince, Braun Strowman, this whole suspension thing. It felt very reminiscent of that. What Becky needed to understand, like, sure, Triple H and Seth said it's fine, but Vince said it, you're not the man, I'm the man.
Yeah, and earlier in the night, she did threaten to punch not just Triple H and Steph again, she threatened to punch Vince McMahon.
Yeah, exactly. She threatened to punch them once. And what she needs to understand is that every, action has an equal and opposite reaction.
Yeah.
She has
Isaac Newton, motherfucker.
Yeah, exactly it. So, consequences for your actions. Like, Vince McMahon is punishing you because you were being a moody teenager.
Yeah.
Honestly, I think... you're all going to hate me for this, but I think she deserved it.
Yeah.
Because, just because you're the man doesn't mean you can get away with it.
No, I kind of disagree with, like I said, this is that weird line. It's like, the decision for her original suspension, the issue there was, coming from Triple H and Stephanie McMahon. So as her managers, literally quote unquote, they delivered the issue. They confronted the issue. They delivered the consequence. She did what was required to appease that particular issue. It's all it's kind of like I said, it's fucked for Vince to then be like, no, I override your punishment. You get a second punishment after you have met the requirements to no longer be punished.
But she has been getting it a bit too easy, in my opinion. Like, week after week, she's been acting up, and I think it's finally, it's like, the step parent, like, for instance, everybody's step parent is always the softer one because they want you to like them.
Yeah.
If you have step parents, so it's like the step parent being like, no, it's fine, but the actual parent being like, no, like, I'm your dad or your mom, like, you're getting punished because I'm the superior. Big old softy here doesn't have a say. I do.
Yeah, but on the same path, it's like, there has been this build, like, we have seen Charlotte fucking shoehorn away into 1,000 things. Like, although she's very clearly like the chosen one in the eyes of Vince McMahon, and it's one of those moments of him being the opportunist that he is, finding that moment to be like, nah, I'm doing what I want to do, and I'm making it what I need it to be. Yeah. Now, Vince McMahon, who has sometimes proven that to know what's going on, more than often, he's proved himself to have fucking no idea what's going on. Now,
he's the man. It's his show.
I guess that's right. As the business owner, and like, how often do big ass companies know what the people want? You know what I mean? So it's that.
Well, he has said publicly before, "I don't give a damn what you people want." So he doesn't care about the universe.
Yeah, no, it's a little bit balls. So
I'm interested to see how it
All
plays
I
out,
want
though.
is that overall, kind of a lackluster episode of Raw.
Yeah,
Not a
I
big
did
win for me.
notice throughout the whole episode that even the crowd thought so. Like, there was a lot of quiet periods.
Yeah,
throughout
and
the
then just some
episode.
fucking frustration at the end.
Yeah.
Just like
everybody, including Becky, blew up at the end. Ronda blew up at the end. She's like, "You kidding me?" Like,
yeah, which is credit to Ronda, you know, to
She's
take
obviously-
that stance as well.
Yeah.
However, saying that, I've noticed they've been promoting pretty heavily that in 2 weeks from now, Ric Flair's be making an appearance to celebrate his 70th birthday.
yeah,
I think Becky's going to break Ric Flair's arm.
yeah, probably. Yeah,
Because I
think that'll be some
imagine,
fun.
similar to what was done, there was, I believe it may have been between The Rock and Stone Cold back in the day. They did have a Mania match, I believe, and they were given explicit rules to not touch each other for an extended period of time up into that match. So therefore, like, there couldn't be any sneaky beatdowns. There couldn't be anything like that. And it is a very similar situation now between Becky and Charlotte. So obviously, with Becky being suspended, she therefore can't interact with any of the other wrestlers. They can't even be in the building. But saying that if she does get into the building, like, who says she can't punch an old dude? You know what I mean? Like, it makes an idea. If it was me and I was Becky Lynch and I was a rebellious teenager, I would also punch a senior citizen.
Yeah. Oh god.
But yeah, no, it's pretty kind of lackluster. You know,
Yeah.
it wasn't too crash hot. Even some of the matches were kind of disappointing. Like, it's this weird moment right now. I understand that they want to focus their attention on Becky and what's going on there, and with Ronda and that sort of whatnot. But I do feel that everybody's missing out because of it. And with Seth Rollins, you know, out being, you know, off with, you know, in recuperation, they can't even really push him in a way to sort of talk more about Universal Championship.
There's a pay-per-view this week. It's supposed to be massive leading up to it, and it felt like...
Yeah, look, so Elimination Chamber is always been sort of a lower tier pay-per-view in terms of how it's treated, how it's perceived by the universe. But there are some cool shit that happens there. That Chamber match is a really cool idea. Like, Fastlane, if anything, is one that's probably going to be less important.
Yeah, for sure.
I don't know, like, it's kind of, like, you know, I'm excited to see Finn to take on Lashley at the Elimination Chamber for the IC champ, because fuck Lashley, I think I want Finn to have it, because although he couldn't get the UC champ, the UC belt, I want to see him at least come out with the IC champ.
Yeah, definitely.
So that brings us into... Actually, before we do that, let us know what you thought of Raw in the comments below, or at the Discord, or at the other thing we have, the Facebook group.
Yeah.
Come talk wrestling with us. It's pretty good. Next up was SmackDown, as always. This was aired on the 12th of February in the United States, in a town that I can't write
remember either, actually.
I think they were in Toledo.
Yeah, they were. They were in Holy... Yeah, because... okay, there was... Somebody said at one point, which we'll find out later, they're like, Holy Toledo!
Yeah, so Toledo Mudhens, minor league baseball team. They're one of the minor league teams for the Detroit Tigers.
Yeah.
I'm a Detroit Tiger. I'm a fan myself.
There you go.
So I was like, Mudhens. I know the Mudhens.
Yeah. Sports. I know sports.
That's the only sports I know.
So yeah, they were in Toledo.
Yeah. So it did open with a video promo talking about the actions that did take place at Raw last night, with the idea of Becky being suspended, moving into all that, and then transitioning to the moment of, you know, Charlotte. Yeah, actually, Hayes was Charlotte.
Yeah.
You kind of forgot the L. And then that cut to Charlotte's music, and in she walks. I'm like, that is an exceptional transition.
I was confused. I was like, is she wearing the same? No, that's different, because the night before her boobs went out, and this one her boobs are out. And I was like, okay, this is a whole new thing. She's actually walking to the ring. Like,
once again,
she's not just standing at the top there. That was a really good transition.
Charlotte, dressed lovely.
Yeah, really good transition.
Yeah, and when she also dressed lovely, her outer ring attire, very nice.
Yeah.
That lady knows how to dress.
Yeah.
And Charlotte delivered an exceptional piece to camera here.
Oh yeah.
Like, it was full of just like smugness and arrogance, and just being like,
she's like, if I point at the sign and start chanting, Becky, will she come? Oh no, she's suspended. She's so smug, and I'm all about that.
Oh man, I was like, just give me all of it.
I was eating
like,
it up.
It was so good, because like, part of me wants, like, I know that Becky's gonna come and she's gonna punch Charlotte, and it's gonna make all these moments worth it, with her just being an absolute butthole. And it's just...
But I think, in saying that, like, obviously Charlotte, like, at WrestleMania, I think it was, didn't she, like, take Asuka's title or something like that, and like,
so at WrestleMania she did beat Asuka's streak
Bit Asuka's ass.
Yeah, it smushed her, and then Asuka was kind of wrecked for the rest of the
So
year.
I have a feeling that Charlotte's in with a huge chance to take the title off Ronda.
See, this is the thing. We're gonna have 3 women here who I say 3 women because like I believe that Becky will find a way back in. I don't know how it's gonna happen.
We know it. We know it.
I feel it in my loins. And so we're gonna have 3 incredibly strong women all going with all something at stake. You know, Ronda, undefeated, the actual representative from Raw.
Yes.
Becky, that grit, that determination, that, you know, the scratching your way up, the underdog. Then you've got Charlotte, the
shoehorn,
the queen, managed to find a way in, the favorite, the chosen one, you know, who has a legacy, who is actually just a superior wrestler in many ways. So, sorry, I just accidentally played footsies with you. It's going to be awesome. Yeah. Although, like I said, it's weird because like I would really like to see it as a singles between Charlotte and Becky. Sorry, not Charlotte, Becky. Becky and Ronda. But having Charlotte come in, I'm like, yes.
Yeah. But you've got to remember as well, like, Ronda's always been the fan favorite, and having Becky come in with a favorite pushes Ronda as the not so favorite. So having Charlotte come in, it makes Ronda the favorite again.
But what it kind of does,
I love this whole like turn of events for Ronnie. Like,
if anything, it kind of pushes Ronda. So Ronda Rousey to the back, and then kind of puts the focus on Becky and Charlotte, which gives Ronda a very clear advantage here. Because you know, while the attention's not on her, she can do what she needs backstage. If she's willing to
slip under the radar.
Yeah, you slip under the radar and probably potentially come out with the win. Like, do something underhanded. So in the same way that Becky, Charlotte, and Asuka at TLC, the match straight up started with Becky and Charlotte punching on. So Asuka had an advantage to be able to take it. Yeah. Not slip away in, but sort of use that to her as a strength. Yeah. And once they're busy focusing on beating each other, she can find a way to get that belt. Yeah. Capitalize is what I'm looking for. Thank you.
Capitalize. 100%.
And I do think Ronda could be in that exact same position.
Yeah, I reckon Ronda's definitely got the upper hand here.
It's going to be sweet.
Yeah.
But then moving to, we did see the SmackDown version of the Elimination Chamber triple threat with, as we mentioned when we discussed Raw, the Fabulous Glow, which is Naomi and Carmella, with the Iconics, which is Billie Kay and Peyton Royce, and the Fire and Desire, which is Mandy Rose and Sonya Deville. Spoilers, the loss did go to Mandy and Sonya after Naomi did the what I remember what it's called. My boss calls it the clunge drop.
Yeah,
where
it's like
she does this flip, spin, leg, split, smush onto Mandy's face. Yeah, look, because once
the Johnny drop.
The Johnny drop. Oh, no. I like that one. That one's fun.
The Johnny drop.
I like the Johnny drop. That's a good name.
You're welcome.
It's a tough, because I don't give shits about any of these people.
Yeah. Well, look, I was kind of stoked to see. Obviously, there's been this whole idea with like Mandy and Jimmy and Naomi. Obviously, Naomi and Jimmy Uso are married. So there's been that whole ordeal there. I was super stoked to see Naomi finally get the pin on Mandy Rose and finally beat her. I was stoked on that, but other than that, like, I was a bit
adding to what we saw, what I mentioned with Raw about the idea of like, why would you want to be in this match to begin with? Like, if you lose, it sucks. If you win, there's no major improvements. Yeah. So as it began with Carmella and Naomi and the Iconics in the ring. So it was Carmella in the ring, and I believe it was Peyton Royce in the ring. Peyton Royce. Peyton just went boom and just like smacks Mandy.
Yep.
Gets out of the ring. Never gets back in the ring.
Yeah. Yeah. You bang on. They did exactly what you were saying before, where they were just like, if we stay out of the match, we can't lose it. Yeah. Because it doesn't matter who wins; it's who loses. Yeah. Who gets put in first. So yeah, all power to them. But then once the match is said and done, like, they just put the beat down on Naomi and Carmella. They just they play the dirty, which I think, you know, all power to them. Yeah. You be dirty. You show them that Australians don't just lay down and quit. Like, you know, they're strategic, they're tactical, and I reckon. And
they have this weird line between being bad and good, and like, they don't really quite have a place. They're very. Like,
I love that they float around.
They're like anti-heroes almost.
Yeah, which is super good. But I definitely reckon they're in with a fighting chance as well, because they've been tag team for what they said in one of their promos. Like, they've been at it for 14 years together. So I definitely I definitely think they've got the upper hand.
Yeah, so there is a tough thing here, as I mentioned, because I don't give two shits about any of these teams. Like Naomi and Carmella, I don't care if they win.
Fabulous.
I don't care if they lose. Like Mandy and like I can't personally stand Mandy Rose.
Oh,
So Sonya Deville's fine. WWE 2K19 seems to love her, but we'll get to that.
Oh yeah.
And the Iconics, although they are Australian, they make me want to punch myself in the face.
Oh, those
So
accents.
It's a tough thing for me.
Are you kidding me?
It's very raw focused for me in this match, which is fine.
Although, like, obviously leading into the end of the episode this week for SmackDown, SmackDown was a clear winner for me this week.
Oh, much better show.
Yeah.
Much better show. Next we get into what I've called the Ladies of Chamber promo, which did give every one of them a shot at having almost like a sit down interview, two to a person.
We saw some of it last week as well.
Yeah, there's a little bit of it.
Yeah,
so the Iconics one was a repeat.
Yeah.
But the rest were all sort of new and different.
I think the Sonya and Mandy one was a repeat too.
It
I
may
swear
have
I've seen
been.
the Sasha.
And then we did have Nia and Tamina talking. Nia's delivering this thing. Tamina's trying to interject and like just have her say. And Nia just won't shut the fuck up.
That's exactly what it was.
So like, granted, Tamina has been quiet this whole time, so understandably Nia's like, well, I guess I'm the talking piece for this too. But for that reason, like, oh shit, you're talking, you want to say something? Like, as in like get involved rather than just talking over her. And I fuck Nia Jax. So let's leave it at that. Look, if there is a YouTube video that goes for 10 to 15 minutes that's just about the times that you've almost career ended, other female wrestlers. And one male wrestler.
Wrestlers in general, yeah.
Like, go away.
Yeah, clearly you need to take a step out of the main roster and learn how to not hurt people.
This is one of those things, although it is a competitive physical sport, as is MMA, as is boxing, all that sort of thing, the design is to hurt each other, but there's also not a career-ending hurt. It's hurting within guidelines. It's hurting within a framework. And what she is doing is putting that all at risk.
Somebody ran statistics and it worked out to be like, once every 39.5 matches or something like that.
One in every 30, I think it was like one between every 30 and 40 matches.
Yeah.
And everyone's like, well, Seth Rollins, and people like one in every like 100 and something matches.
Like almost every 30 to 40 matches, she's injuring someone, which is not a good statistic.
Not like injuring as in like competitive injuring, like properly
like hurting
them.
people, like to the point where you're breaking Becky's nose or
to the point they can't fight.
Cheekbone, yeah. Like actually putting them out of commission.
Yeah. Speaking out of commission, though, we did have a promo, little iPhone video of Mustafa Ali, who did break the news that he has not been medically cleared for the Elimination Chamber match. A big bummer for me because I did have him as a potential winner.
Yeah.
I thought he was that on point that he would to sort of come in and at least be a dominant force in that chamber match. I did wonder who they were going to bring in. My personal hope was Andrade.
Yeah.
I can't roll my eyes, but it was Andrade. That would have been awesome. However, instead, it went to the New Day.
Yeah. They had to choose between themselves.
That's right. So Xavier, Big E, and Kofi did have to have that discussion about who's going to do what, who's going to be in.
Yeah.
And we didn't know until a little bit later.
Yeah.
Next we had McMiz TV, which was Shane McMahon and The Miz come out to do their show. They were, as they mentioned last week, they would be talking to the Usos. It was alright.
That was fun.
I had a good old giggle.
Yeah, I had a bit of fun with it. I love that Miz and Shane can have a bit of fun with each other.
Like they're clearly hanging out, and like they're clearly something like the bullshit was building, and they're getting a bit more mucky, a bit more comfortable around each other.
And clearly they were having a bit of fun with it, and that didn't sit too well with the Usos. Obviously, they're very passionate about what they do there. What, 7 times? No, how many times?
5 times.
5 times, yeah. They're 5-time tag champions. Like, they're obviously very serious about this, and they see what Miz and Mac are doing as a bit of a joke. So they're clearly very pissed, which understandably, and they're like, what do you even, like, you guys don't ride together, you're not blood, like, you've been at this for a little while, we know everything about each other, let's have a pop quiz about what we know about each other. What's my favorite color? What's my favorite food? And just back and forth, rapid fire, which I was like, awesome. And then Shane and Miz were like, no, we got this. And Miz would be like, what's my favorite color? Blue.
Yeah, yeah.
What's my favorite TV show? What's my favorite food? And he's like, quiche. Quiche? Quiche? He's like, yeah, Maurice makes a really good quiche. She's like, and then the Usos are like, no, like, we're not talking about Maurice here or anything. They're like, oh, all right, like take it easy.
Yeah, so there's a bit of a
there's a bit of hostility there on the Usos.
Yeah, there's a bit of sass, bit of spit, bit of fire. Just like like we're gonna come in. See, this is the thing. I understand that it helps for these teams, for these superstars to have their own catchphrases and make sense because it is a representation of their brand.
Yes.
The Usos delivered an exceptional piece to the guys. I'm like, yes. Yep. Don't say Uso Penitentiary. You fucking said it.
Uso Penitentiary.
Like it broke what was an awesome flow, and if they just left without putting that little tag on the end, I would have been like, oh,
next level.
I'm like, yes, more of that.
I don't even get the Uso Penitentiary thing. I don't understand it. I don't know what it's supposed to mean. Like, what we're gonna put you behind bars, like
well, are they
gonna cuff you up.
You think you get in the shower?
Yeah, I was gonna say like when it's Naomi, like the whole Valentine's thing, and it was like early Valentine's or anniversary present or whatever. It's like I'm gonna you can take me to the Uso Penitentiary. Like lock her up. Like I'm like, I get that.
Does that mean they're gonna fuck Miz and Shane? Like
I was getting a bit like. What's gonna happen out the back in the shower?
You're like, if that's what it means, I'm like, I look, you know what? Screw it. I'd say that. Let's let them sex each other and be like, all right, here's the belt.
WWE Brazers edition.
But it did end with some schmack, and as we said, Shane and Miz did pull. They got a cheap pop using the Toledo Mud Hens.
Oh yeah. What's my favorite sporting team? The Toledo Mud Hens. Toledo went wild. They were like, they were all about it. That didn't sit well with the Usos either.
Yes, as Usos, what we thought when we were making their way out of the ring, turn around, super kick them both in the perfect synchronization.
Yeah, perfect synchronicity. It was beautiful.
Yeah, dropped them both. And they're like, wow, fuck. Like you could almost see birds. It was beautiful, absolutely beautiful.
So good. I'm excited.
This moves into what was essentially the main event and the whole last hour of the show. Ooh. It was a gauntlet match between the 6 competitors for the WWE Heavyweight Championship. Yeah. We did come to learn so Daniel Bryan
comes out and has a little
comes out
promo.
First. Yeah, he does the delivery of the idea of I don't want to be in this chamber because the chamber sucks. The only reason I'm doing it is because I need to defend this belt, and if I have to do this, I'm willing to do this. Yeah. This is what it's got to be.
I will be your martyr.
I will be your martyr. I will take the hit. I will take the beat for this belt, for what this belt means.
And as he's speaking, he gets interrupted
by the New Day, which was great. So all 3 of them come out whipping pancakes as they do, and as they get just up into the ring, we're thinking, because at this point we don't know who's going to do what, right? So we see Big E come off. He does his little work, pulls the jacket off. He's getting ready to rock and roll.
Oh, no!
Puts that jacket back on, makes his way back. In comes Xavier with Francesca. He's like, he's going to take the jacket. No, he's not. And then Kofi walks forward. Boom! It's Kofi Kingston.
Pancakes up, keeps walking forward. Everybody's like, Kofi!
See, Kofi has needed something like this for a while. Mm-hmm. It's been, as I said, like 11 years.
Yeah, he says later in the match.
Title belt.
It's 11 years he's been waiting for this opportunity, which I think is, awesome as a collective for the New Day to be like, hey, like, you've been here the longest. You haven't had this title shot yet. You deserve it. You do this.
And it was great because, like, I have seen on the social medias before with Royal Rumble and moving into to now, it's like there is a bit of a vocal push for Kofi by the fans. Everyone's like, it's Kofi's time. And
he is a phenomenal athlete. Even, I watched him when he first started, when he had his whole, he had a very Jamaican shtick, and he would come out and he'd be like, boo, boo, boo. Like, I remember that whole thing. Everything was green and yellow. Like, it was so much fun. He's always been such a great entertainer and a great athlete, and to see 11 years on, like, for me as well, it's 11 years on for me too, like, to see him in that position to finally get there is huge.
Spot on.
And my heart is just so full for him, and I am, like, in his corner this whole way. Like, as much as I know that he's not as much as a front runner as the other guys, I'm still like, Kofi, like, do it for us, do it for you.
So as you can assume, it did kick off with Daniel Bryan versus Kofi Kingston in what was about a 40-minute
they were at
40-minute match.
30 minutes.
Yeah, like there was relentless. It was very technical.
Yeah, it was about 30, 32 minutes.
Yeah, somewhere around there. Yeah, it's very technical, a lot of groundwork. Although Kofi did get up high as he does, we did see a lot of his usual flips and tricks that he normally does.
Yeah.
But yeah, Daniel did keep him grounded. He kept pulling him down, getting him.
And there's a reason Daniel's the champion right now. Like he is a very, very tactical wrestler. Like he's very good with his groundwork and his grappling and his submissions. So he's definitely. You know, they're both, especially Daniel Bryan, would be fighting harder than anyone, like, to ensure that he gets in last because his title on the line.
Oh, yeah, we should mention, the outcome of this gauntlet match was, whoever came out strongest would be the
winner
last
gets to
person
enter
to
last.
enter.
Yeah.
Which has a massive competitive advantage when it
Exactly.
comes to the Elimination Chamber.
And yeah, that's something Bryan would want. But obviously, like, again, interruptions and distractions, and obviously Rowan starts getting involved, and then
so Rowan gets involved, which causes Xavier and Big E to get involved.
Yeah.
Which then the ref's like, nah, get out. So he then kicks out Xavier and Big E. Rowan hangs around. Then Rowan straight up just throws Kofi into like not the announcers table,
like
but
the stools and stuff next to behind the camera.
Like the ring announcer section.
Yeah.
And the ref turns around and he's just not there. He's like, Rowan, you clearly did something, you dumb dickhead.
Rowan's like, I don't know.
He just fucking went.
He walked away.
He just went somewhere. It's like, no, he's over there. Get the hell out. So
referee's just like, you're out of here. Him and Bryan obviously kick up a stink, and during the kerfuffle, Kofi capitalizes.
Yeah, Kofi gets in there, so Bryan does.
It's literally seconds after Rowan's out. Like Kofi's just on it.
Yeah, so Bryan does grab him, brings him into the ring, and does a bit of a clearly a little bit hurt after getting that throw.
Yeah.
Turns around, Trouble in Paradise, boom, takes him down, gets the pin. Bryan is out, which blew me away. There was no way did I think that Daniel Bryan was going to get taken out at this point. I did think he would have a little bit of time in him.
Yeah, I thought he'd end up going all the way, but yeah.
Then the music hits, and out comes Jeff Hardy, the charismatic enigma.
I love the Hardys. Remember everything.
So yeah, with Kofi being a little bit, worse for at this point, they come in. It was a solid match.
Yeah.
Man, there is something like you can see the Jeff Hardy. He's invested in this match.
Yeah, he's a whole new person.
He put his body on the line. Like he was willing to take some really hard hits to get Kofi down. It was awesome.
Yeah, and that's what I've always loved about, Jeff Hardy is he's always been that type to put his body on the line. Like, you go back and watch old ladder matches with him and it, like, that guy...
Like him versus Edge and Christensen?
Yeah, Christian.
I always said Christensen at the end. Him and Edge and Christian.
Yeah. No, he's just ridiculous. He's always been the type, him and Matt as well, when they were a tag team, always the type to put their body on the line. Like, Jeff, in his personal life, has been through some shit. So, putting his body on the line for some wrestling ain't no thing. So, it's awesome to see somebody who's so fully invested, like, not just mentally, but physically. Like, you know what? I'm going to take the hurt, but that hurt is going to get me to where I want to be.
Yeah, like, there were moments where I did think Jeff had it in the bag. He got up ready for the old swanton bomb. Kofi got out of the way, and Jeff took all that, Matt.
Yeah.
It was like, that was like the boosh.
Yeah,
and like
that was the one that you feel, and the ring shutters.
The ring shutters, there's rattle, there's an echo effect. Yeah. Like, oh, damn.
Yeah. But yeah, that was awesome. But yeah, Kofi puts him away with an SOS.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, so he did try to attempt another Trouble in Paradise. Didn't go too well. Puts out the SOS. Then the pin.
Yeah.
Jeff is out. Kofi sticks around, and out comes Samoa Joe.
Oh, I don't know what I was expecting. I was expecting him to just get brutalized.
I was like, Kofi's fucked.
You're done.
You're dead, my friend.
Done. But, turn of events.
Yeah.
Kofi fucking took out Samoa Joe. He got the pin on Samoa Joe with this, like, sneaky little roll-up, I think it was. So what happened was, like, Samoa Joe gets him in the coquina clutch, and he manages to weasel his way to the corner of the ring, and like his feet go up, and he like does this flip over thingy and gets him in this little sneaky roll up, and then 1, 2, 3, like, and Joe's like, the fuck? And Kofi's like, the fuck? And everybody's just like, even I was like, what?
It was a mutual the fuck. And like,
Yeah,
I think everybody like across
all
the
around the
universe,
world, yeah.
in the arena, at home, everyone.
Everything. And then obviously Joe, because he can't control his emotions, got a bit shitty and started like putting the beat down, and outside the ring on the floor just like hammered him into this coquina clutch. All the refs come running out and they're like, no, get off him. And then AJ Styles is like, I'm not having this. So he comes out and he puts the smack down on Joe and basically like, shoo fly, get out of here, and shoves him up the ramp and on his way, and goes in and checks on Kofi and tries to get him back in the ring, and he's like, mate, just stop. Like,
take a minute, man.
Yeah, you're done. Like, don't do this to yourself. You're not going to be good for the chamber. And Kofi, that riles him up. He's just like, no, and shoves AJ, and he's like, I've been waiting 11 years for this. Fight me. You fight me. And AJ is just like, okay. And it's on. But obviously at this stage, Kofi had been in the match for like an hour.
Yeah, just shy of an hour.
Yeah, just shy of an hour. He'd clearly not been doing okay, which, you know, AJ obviously capitalized on, and he ended up getting
calf crusher, I think it was.
Yeah, calf crusher, and he took out Kofi. And obviously, as Kofi gets eliminated, like the New Day, like Xavier and Big E come running down, and they grab him and they're leading him out of the ring, and the whole crowd is on their feet screaming.
Yep.
They are just hollering for Kofi Kingston, because that is why Kofi deserves his spot.
This is awesome.
Ridiculous. He's phenomenal. But then Randy Orton's music hit, and AJ's standing there and he's like, come on, I'm ready for this. And it's taken a while, and I was like, Randy's going to come from behind with Arco. Randy's coming with Arco! Like, as I was thinking, it just bam! And then 1, 2, 3, and Randy wins the end spot. I was just like, yes. Don't think he even took his vest off. He was just like, bam! Pin done. I was like, yes, Randy Orton, that's why I love you.
Like, yes, Randy, marry me, Randy.
Will you be my Valentine? I've always had a thing for Randy Orton. I keep saying this. So I was just like, RKO out of nowhere. So good. I love it.
Yeah, that gauntlet match was on.
That was a fun little ending. But my God, I have concerns about Kofi for this Sunday for them, Monday for us.
Yeah.
I am definitely concerned about him. But my God, like, what an incredible athlete. Yeah. I think he definitely has an advantage coming into this, especially being the last one to come into it. There's no sort of mind games. He has no emotional attachment in the sense that, you know, he's not gunning for anyone in particular. Yeah. He's happy to take them all out, whereas everybody's going to be gunning for a certain person.
But at the same point, like, it could fall into the same sort of slot that, like, Brock had to face when, you know, he had, like, he had been training to take on Braun, not Finn. So with those, you know, last couple of days before, to change his whole game plan. Kofi, unprepared for this match. Unprepared for the chamber. So for that reason, like, how does he prepare for the next, like, 3 days?
But in the same time, he's been in the game a long time, so I'm sure that he's been over time studying what these guys are up to. Like, you never know what's been going on behind the scenes and who they're watching and why they're watching them, you know?
That is true, but saying that, like, the chamber is relentless.
Oh,
like,
God,
it's a tough fight in there, so you do need to have some preparation, some planning. Sure. I believe he has done it before,
yeah, I'm pretty sure he's been in the chamber before.
Even then, like...
But yeah, it is super short notice, too.
There's a lot of strong dudes in this match.
Mm-hmm. Definitely. Well, Kofi learned that firsthand.
Yeah, he learned
that firsthand. So I'm definitely wary of how he's going to go. Mm. But my God, I am so impressed. Yeah. Like, Kofi Kingston, I love you. Well done. I am proud of you. So yeah, what that whole ending, an entire hour that gauntlet match went for, and it was the best hour I've seen on any show for a long time, and I was all about it.
Yeah, it was certainly easier this week just to sort of tell which one was the better show, because the SmackDown had 3 segments. 2 of those segments were great, and then and then SmackDown had like 11, and half of them were there.
Raw, you mean?
Yeah. So what I say? Oh, it's been a long day.
Yeah.
Yeah. So Raw was fine. You know, SmackDown was excellent. It was great. So what we'll do is we'll jump over the. Do you want to do a chamber chat, dirt sheet, or vice versa?
I reckon we get into the dirt sheet.
Yep.
And then we talk predictions from 2019.
And then we talk about our predictions for the match as well. All right, let me boot up my phone. So as always, we do get our good old friend Dirt Sheet Dash to provide us with some rumors, some little backstage chats for this week's episode. Mm-hmm.
Ooh.
Kicking things off, as we mentioned, did we mention it last week? I'm unsure. But Kenny Omega has, yes, we did. So Kenny Omega has signed with AEW. However, there may be something extra.
Because he was executive vice president?
That's correct. So with Kenny signing on as the executive vice president at All Elite Wrestling and a member of the active roster, Kenny's role as EVP remains unclear. However, in an interview with Dave Meltzer over at the Wrestling Observer, Kenny stated that, quote, "My contract allows me to wrestle in New Japan if I ever wanted to go back. But the love has to go both ways. It can't be just me wanting to go back there for a match. As a matter of fact, it allows me to work anywhere I want."
Ooh.
I really have a great deal at the moment with the cards. The idea of makes me work anywhere I want makes me moist.
Yeah.
There is a dampness. There is a humidity.
That man is sought after by everybody. Kenny, oh my God.
Yeah.
Whew.
Yeah.
I'm excited for that. I would love to see what he's going to do with that. Is he going to take it cross-promotional? He's going to try and drag people
Look,
around?
if anything, if that means he can rock...
endless possibilities.
Something that the Dash has speculated with Buddy on their show, Dash Culture Wrestling, and something that I've wanted to talk about, the idea of, like, how would they bring Kenny prior to him signing with AEW.
Yeah.
Like, I wanted to see him head on, like, with AJ at Mania. That would have been so
Yeah.
good. If AJ does happen to take the belt from Daniel Bryan, that would be awesome. Like, does that mean that we could get Kenny for a match at Mania? Like, there's too many cool things that are exciting here. Now, granted, it's certainly going to be a guarantee that he'll be spending time between New Japan and AEW.
Of course.
You know, a lot of the guys, I think Chris
Priorities.
Jericho's in the same place. He does also have that agreement.
Yep.
So they can spend over there. So although I would like to see him, I don't know what kind of contract, what kind of agreement WWE would be willing to consider.
Yeah.
Seeing as they're really good at trying to lock people down at the moment.
Ooh.
Next. Adding on to Ambrose. As seen on this week's WWE Raw, Dean Ambrose confronted Seth Rollins in the ring and stated, quote, "I only got one thing to say to you, slay the beast." Apparently, Ambrose was originally intending to say a lot more regarding Roman Reigns and the Shield, but decided to keep it short.
Ooh.
It's been noted that Ambrose has been frustrated with some of the direction that he's been taking and is on his way out of the door the night of WrestleMania, which we have talked about, and WWE have mentioned on their website. We discussed this last week with the whole idea that he's not renewing his contract, so
he'll be leaving.
Maybe it's more of a situation as like, because my understanding is there is a bit of discussion with the producer about what they plan on doing, what they want to say, so they can hit the right points. Obviously, they don't want to they don't want to come out there and be like, "Fuck this," because they can't. You know, they're a PG show. I imagine there is some discussion about what's going to be said.
Yeah.
For that reason, they're like, "Hey, this is what I'm looking at saying. I want to talk about this, about this." Cool. Comes out, does none of that.
Yeah. Well, yeah, this is what we spoke about earlier. It definitely feels like he has something more to say, but he just hasn't said it.
Yeah, there's got to be a reason, and I can't wait to see what he has to say.
Hopefully, maybe he has something to say at WrestleMania.
Maybe
he'll say it on the grandest stage of them all.
That's true. So in the final point, which is a very interesting one, EC3 may be heading back to NXT already.
Ooh.
It's been no secret that EC3's current run on the main roster has fallen nothing short of flat. It is now rumored that EC3 may be heading back to NXT as soon as WrestleMania weekend. Ooh. NXT TakeOver New York is scheduled the night before Mania, and it was rumored that EC3 may be joining the rookie roster to be a main event player on the brand. Many have noted that EC3's main roster push may have happened too soon, and now WWE are taking note. Now, it was interesting for me. I think he's been doing fine. I think he's great. However, the only person that I would see going back to NXT, because there was that big hype of them turning up, was Lars Sullivan, and we are still yet to see him. Like, he has not been seen anywhere, and I imagine that can't go well with the producing. That can't go well with Vince. So, if anything, it would make more sense to push Lars back and keep EC3 up.
But do you think maybe they'd put EC back so they can push Lars better?
That's potentially the case, but like...
Obviously, they've trialed EC. They're not happy with how it's going. Push him back. Push Lars.
There is a tough, as I mentioned, I think I mentioned this last week as well. There is a tough placement right now with Lars. So the reason he hadn't turned up is due to some mental health issues, which should always be taken seriously, and that is certainly a concern. But for that, aside from that concern, he has consistently not showed up.
Yeah.
So there's a big difference between being unable to compete because of a health issue, whether it be physical or mental. But like you are, as per your contract, you are required to attend all
It's
tapings,
a job.
all
You
shows.
have, yeah.
Exactly.
You have a roster. You're getting paid to be there. Like, you can't just not show up. You have a job. You're contracted by this company as an employee.
And I understand it's very difficult, to sort of not punish him for this because you can't punish him for the situation. It's a weird line, and I think for that reason, you're like, hey, if this has caused this much trauma or has upset you in such a way, maybe you aren't quite ready to make the main event right now. Take it back to NXT.
Where
let
you're
you
clearly
be strong. Let you still compete. Let you still earn your dollars. But
you come to us when you're ready.
But yeah, so like I said, they're all, maybe one of those things. There will be a spot for you when you're ready, but stay down here, work it up, become stronger mentally and physically, and then we'll go from there.
Yeah, it's definitely a very tricky sort of area.
So let us know what you thought of the rumor mill that old Dirt Sheet Dash has provided us for us this week. But now, as it is days before the next pay-per-view with the Elimination Chamber, what I like to do on the Wednesday before when we do our streams, I use the power of WWE 2K19 to predict the outcomes of the card. So we'll go through one by one and let us know what 2K19 thought, and we'll let you guys know what we think will happen as well. Now, to kick things off, which will likely be in the pre-show again, was the 205 Cruiserweight Championship title match between Buddy Murphy, not our good friend Buddy Watson, versus Tazukiyawa or something like that. It's a dude. Very difficult. Couldn't do it in 2K19 because Kazawa is there. However, Buddy Murphy is not. So we're unable to put that match into effect. Buddy will retain. Fuck it. Let's just say Buddy will retain.
Yeah, I think he's on a good run, so I don't think he's gonna drop it anytime soon.
That's correct. So the first match that we could test out is Braun Strowman versus Baron Corbin. Interesting match because, after TLC, where he was still unfit to take on Baron, this is Braun we're talking about here. This is the first time. We are actually going to get to see them properly take on each other in what I can only imagine being a glorious fight.
Please no interruptions. Please no interruptions. It's going to happen, but please no interruptions.
Just make it work. Make it be cute.
Wish it into fruition.
So, WWE 2K19 did predict that Baron Corbin would get the win. He would deliver an end of days, then take the pin. Personally,
Baron Corbin.
I want Braun Strowman to come away clean with this one.
Yeah. Because happy Valentine's Day. Get ready for some stromance. Sorry, I have to.
We are recording on Valentine's Day for context.
Sorry, I have to. Yeah, I definitely think Braun Strowman will come out of that with a win.
Yeah.
Like I said before, as much as I wish it won't happen, there's probably going to be interferences. But yeah, I would like to see Braun take a clean win over Baron.
I agree.
Yeah.
Next up was the SmackDown Tag Teams Championship match between, as we mentioned, the Shane McMahon and The Miz, the best tag team in the world, against the Usos. 2K19 predicted that the McMiz will retain, and I am likely to agree with the game here.
I agree. I think it's going to be one hell of a fight. Obviously, the Usos are very good at what they do. They are a very seasoned tag team. But I think, they're the Miz and Mac are the best tag team in the world. Like, let's be honest, they're going to retain.
Yeah, I don't know. I just have a feeling in my guts that it's going to retain, and I can't wait to see that. Yeah. Next up is the Raw Women's Championship, which is between the current champion, Rowdy Ronda Rousey, and the leader of the Riot Squad, Ruby Riott. WWE 2K19 did predict that Ronda Rousey would retain, because why the fuck would she not?
She is...
Look, Ruby Riott is good, but she isn't the strongest member of the Riot Squad. Even then, the Riot Squad have hung around the mids in terms of, like, they aren't in the same echelon that is the likes of Ronda Rousey.
Yeah, I don't think Ruby will win, because I'd love to see the Riot Squad take the tag titles in the Elimination Chamber and then have this, like, the three of us swap competing for who's, going to be in the tag team match this week. Like, that would be some fun.
That would be good.
Like, this week it's, even though it's Liv Morgan and Sarah Logan in the thing, because the Riot Squad are a trio, it could be like, this week it's going to be Liv and Ruby, and this week it's going to be Sarah and Ruby.
Or I might just use Lucha House Party rules and just do whatever they want.
Yeah, that'll probably be it.
So Ronda?
Yeah, of course, Ronda.
Yeah.
Ronda.
Next up is the Intercontinental Championship match with a handicap. Finn Balor versus Bobby Lashley and Lio Rush, which is a little bit different. I personally think Finn Balor's going to get the win.
I'd love to see Finn get the win. Definitely. It's obviously against him, but that's, never stopped him. So.
That's true. And WWE 2K19 did state that Bobby Lashley would be the one to get the win for the pair over Finn Balor. I can see why. However, I do think Finn is where it's at. So as we mentioned, it is. So I'm just going to see. The Women's Championship. So it is the Boss Hug Connection. It is the Fire and Desire. It is the Fabulous Glow.
The Samoan Sisters.
The Iconics, and the Riot Squad. Right. Now, because the game wouldn't allow me to do a tag team Elimination Chamber match, what I did do is I had a setup where I flipped a coin and, heads being one, tails being the other, and whoever landed, they were to be the representative. So the representatives were as follows. It was Bayley for the Boss Hug Connection. It was Sonya Deville for Fire and Desire. Carmella for Fabulous Glow. Tamina for the Samoan Sisters. Billy Kay for the Iconics. And Liv Morgan
for the Riot Squad. All right, so this gets a bit tricky. So obviously it's elimination style, so first one out has to leave. So first out was Bayley for the Boss Hug Connection. I can't remember who took her out. Then second was Carmella. She was taken out. Third was it was really tricky because somebody just disappeared out of there. So I'm pretty sure it was the Iconics, so Billy Kay, and then Tamina.
My man, who was the way around?
Other way around? Yeah, because I remember watching it and being like, hold on, wait, no, Tamina's missing. What happened?
Yeah, because I looked up and I saw Tamina limping out. I'm like, when did that happen?
Yeah, so it must have been Tamina first, then the Iconics, and then it was down to Fire and Desire and the Riot Squad.
Yeah, so Liv Morgan and Sonya Deville. Yep. And for some reason, 2K19 has a hard on
for Sonya.
As we said, she apparently would be the winner of the Women's Royal Rumble, according to our last pay-per-view predictions.
And now she's the winner of the tag match.
She's the winner of the tag team. So that means Fire and Desire, the Women's Tag Team Champions. Highly doubt that. I don't think that's going to happen.
No.
I personally think it will be the Boss Hug Connection. That's what I want to say.
Yeah. I would love to see the Iconics. Like I keep saying, I would love to see them win it and then immediately lose it the following night. That would be just hilarious to me.
The only downside of that is that really does kick in the dick of, because that would make history. It's that interesting point. So have them make history and then lose it. It's a real bummer.
Yeah,
for that reason,
make for a good feud to sort of back and forth to try and push them.
Yeah, there is this weird balance, right? Because as Nia Jax currently has been on the run of a lot of firsts. She was one of the first. She won the first Women's Battle Royal at Evolution pay-per-view. She was the first woman to enter a Royal Rumble and eliminate someone.
And the first woman to basically kill everybody ever.
And the first woman to just destroy actual injured people. So I do think there may be, if the stars align, there may be a chance for her to be the first women's tag team champion. Because for some fucking reason, if the fate was to be an asshole.
But the bigger they are, the harder they fall. Yeah. I reckon that chamber will fuck her up.
Yeah, I think that's too.
Language.
Having it be focused on elimination, I think there's very likely, depending on when she comes out, there may be a moment.
Team up again.
There may be a moment of, an enemy of my enemy is my friend.
Yeah.
So they may work like they have done in the Royal Rumble.
Corey Graves was saying that.
Yeah, as they had done in the Royal Rumble, they do all tend to sort of team up on her, which makes sense. So yeah, my vote's on Boss Hug.
Mine's on the Iconics. I would love to see. I'd love to see them take it out for us Australians.
Yeah, it'd be weird.
Yeah.
Very.
I mean, we've got Buddy Murphy, obviously, doing it in 205. Come on, the Iconics are on the main.
And Ray Ripley in NXT UK.
Ray Ripley. Yep. And NXT.
She's fucking awesome.
She is phenomenal. I watched her in the Rumble and I was like, yes.
Yeah, we need to watch more NXT.
Yeah, but I definitely think the Iconics for us Aussies.
Yeah, so then next up we did have the men's Elimination Chamber match. As we mentioned before, was Daniel Bryan, AJ Styles, Randy Orton, Samoa Joe, Jeff Hardy, and Kofi Kingston.
So in a very, very interesting turn of events, Samoa Joe was kicked out first.
Yeah, he was.
Yeah, so Samoa Joe first. Second was Kofi Kingston. Third was Daniel Bryan. Fourth was Randy Orton, and then AJ Styles took out Jeff Hardy for the win.
Yeah, so 2K19, very interesting outcome there. What they were able to deliver in the game is, I love doing this. Those streams are fun, it's just it's just cool to see the game do its thing.
Yeah, and there's a lot of cool chat as well. If you definitely come in and watch it because you hear some interesting shit from people.
That's right. So every Wednesday,
every
Wednesday before the pay-per-view, that's at 8 p.m. Australian Eastern Standard Time. We do jump on Twitch and we do just bullshit about wrestling.
Yeah.
Lead up into the
because it's all automated. Like
pay-per-view.
Ryan's not actually playing. Like it's just the automated thing. So we just sit there and chat, and you hear some interesting things. Like somebody was throwing out wild like stories that maybe Edge has been cleared to wrestle again. And
we all got so excited.
Yeah,
I think Dash nearly exploded.
I have been a huge fan of the Rated R Superstar. I was just like, where is this information? Give it to me now. Like, yeah, I heard it 4 days ago. I was like, where? Give me the link.
Dash, why is this not on your sheet? Like, what's going on?
So there's some cool shit that goes on. You hear some interesting things. So definitely come check them out because they're so much fun.
So how do you think this will actually go?
I think that is definitely a very accurate portrayal of things.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I definitely think it could definitely go that way. I think 20K19's onto something.
It's a tough part for me because, like, I personally want Daniel to retain. Like I said, but whether he will or not is very different. Because like without the assistance of Rowan, I like not saying that Rowan is his bodyguard, is his protector. I'm unsure. Like without his ability to intervene, puts in a tough place. Okay, we'll put it this way. I think Daniel Bryan will retain.
Yeah.
However, I want Joe to win.
Yeah. Well, I was talking to a friend about this recently, like, you know, obviously little theories and speculations and what we'd like to see and stuff. And I would love to see it come down to Daniel and Kofi. And I'd like to see Daniel retain because obviously he's all about save the planet, you know, healthy food, this, that, and the other. Kofi Kingston comes out with a plate of pancakes against their match. So it could be the whole, like, you know, obviously the New Day are all like fun loving and they like their junk food and stuff like that and their pancakes, and Daniel Bryan's all like...
they are into like the sort of the capitalism, you know...
Yeah, yep.
Sort of like the big marketing branding.
Yeah, buy our shit. So I definitely think that could be a super good angle. So I'd love to see the last two in the chamber to be Kofi and Daniel, and this to be an ongoing feud. To maybe even lead into a later date, you know, maybe, you know... Because I don't know if Daniel's got a match for WrestleMania, does he?
Holy shit, I just had something.
So maybe that could lead them into WrestleMania.
God.
And that could be a huge thing.
Here it is.
Kofi could win it at Mania.
Here it is. New Day versus Daniel Bryan, Bray Wyatt, Rowan, or potentially Eric.
Yeah.
So the Bludgeon Brothers, essentially the Wyatt family or the Bryan family.
Yeah.
New Day versus the Bryan family at Mania.
Yeah, you're welcome for putting that in your head.
Oh my God. That is what I want to see.
Yeah.
I nearly fell off my chair.
Yeah, I reckon if it's not just Daniel and Kofi, that is definitely what it could be.
Oh,
the three versus the three with the title on the line.
Oh,
you heard it here first, guys.
Yeah.
You heard it here first.
Yeah, that's where you heard it. Oh my
You're welcome.
God, I want to see the crap
You're
out
welcome.
of that. Wow. But anyway, that was the Young and the Wrestlers of the Pop Culturist weekly WWE podcast. Hope you enjoyed this week's Wrestling Chats, because it does happen every Friday morning at 8 a.m. on your podcast services and 9 a.m. on the YouTubes. If you want to chat with us, head over to Facebook group, facebook.com/group/popculturist, as well as the Discord. There are links in the description below, as well as the description in the audio version as well, if you are on the iTunes, whatever the hell. One thing we always fail to mention: if you do like the show, please give us give us a rating in the stars, leave us a little review, let us know what you think, because if the more stars, the more reviews, the higher we get up there, and more voices.
Yeah,
we
get to do some cool shit like going to see Fighting with My Family.
Exactly, the things like that make that possible, because I was able to send through and say, this is what we're doing, this is what's going on, and they're like, nah, that's amazing, you make this happen. So
yeah,
please keep helping us grow, helping us do cool things, because I said in 2 weeks time you get a little sneaky bonus episode for you. And if you want to show the support for the Pop Culturist in other ways, head over to popculturist.com/shop, where you can buy shirts like this, like that one, as well as Young and the Wrestler shirts, and new shirt designs are on the way, because I'm forever coming up with new ideas and forever just going, hey James, who's our friend who does our designs at Pixel Beast, I'm like, hey James, I have a design. He's like, fuck. All right, cool. I'll make it happen. I'm like, you my man. And then, of course, you want to go to the extra level, head to the patreon.com/thepopculturist. Throw some $1 dues our way and help fund what we do here. But until the next time, I'm Ryan Betson.
And I'm the Samoan Slaughterhouse, Jamina.
We'll see you next week.
Bye.